Hello everyone, it is Simsby. Welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. I haven't posted for a while, but I decided I would break the hiatus with a tutorial on how to make a Blender render of a sim. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I guess there's going to be a bit of a mini speed cast or create a sim, because first step of course is to make a sim. Now, not sure, but from what I remember, you can't use anything base game. I may be wrong on that, but I don't use anything base game because it might not show up on the Sims Ripper, which I'll later explain what that is. But so try to use custom content. I think your safest bet is to make sure that it's HQ compatible. That way it is able to export once we get the sim out of the game and into Blender. So I'm just gonna make this sim real quick into something a little less terrifying, and we'll move on from there. Okay, I finished the sim. Took me like 20 minutes, but it's fine. That's pretty quick. So after you've made your sim, just give it whatever traits. I'm not even gonna pick them randomly, just gonna roll the dice, pick whatever name. Just make sure you remember the name. Higginbotham? You know what? Yeah, sure. Save it. I'm gonna upload mine to the gallery, and then we can move on to the next thing that you have to do if you want to import it into Blender. Okay, so she's uploaded, backed up, saved in case anything goes wrong. I do that because I feel like it's easier if you mess up something with using the Sims 4 Ripper to just upload a new version of them from the gallery into a new save file. It saves hassle, in my opinion. So now you want to play, move them into world. It doesn't matter what world, I always just pick first one, Little Creek or whatever. You know what? Girl, why is your hair pink down here? I don't even know, and I don't care either. I'm gonna take a screenshot of her real quick, just so I can compare for when she's in Blender. You're gonna save the game, exit to main menu. Don't exit the game, exit to main menu, save and exit. And once it loads into main menu, you want to click load game, which I'm about to do in a second, and look at the save. Mine is 000000078. I'm gonna copy the save file path, even though I'll remember that it ends with 78, but make sure that it's the exact like save file path. Put it on a note, write it down, take a picture of it, because now you're gonna close out of the Sims. You don't need to close the game because sometimes you need to reopen it, and it just saves time to leave it open. So I'm gonna leave my game open, but just minimize it, close it, whatever's easier for you, and we're gonna go to the Sims 4 Ripper. So I'm on the Sims Mod the Sims website on Sim Ripper. I would just Google TS4 Sim Ripper and this will show up. You're gonna scroll down to the download tab, download it. Once you download this, you're gonna wanna double click the zipped file and drag the file that will be inside to your desktop. When you open up that folder that you move to your desktop, you're gonna see all of this. You want to click the one that's an application type. It'll be titled TS4 Sim Ripper. So you open that up. It'll take a minute. Sometimes it'll even show you like Windows protected your PC, don't run. When it shows you that, click more info and then you click run anyway. It won't show you it again, but then it'll open the sim ripper. So you might get a pop-up that says unable to read valid package data. It's just showing you what CC may be invalid. You can just click OK. It'll show up maybe 1 or 2 times and the application will start loading. Might take a minute, but once you see that it shows like a long list of all the things that popped up, it'll open right up. Sometimes it takes longer, especially if you have a lot of custom content. For me, it used to take like 20 minutes, but now it takes like a minute. Once you see this window, you want to click select on the top right and find that save file. Make sure that it doesn't say version 0 or version 1. You want it to be just slot underscore whatever number dot save. It's going to have all these names loaded up and you want to find your sim. That's why it's important to remember the name. I know that it was a human, female, young adult. I know she had a weird last name. Here she is, and then it's just going to load her up real quick. And by real quick, I mean like it'll take a minute. So don't get scared if it doesn't load right away. Finally loaded my sim. I actually accidentally clicked someone else's name. And I'm going to confirm now that you can use in-game content to import into Blender. I'm not sure why I thought you couldn't, but you can. So if you look around with these controls, you can make sure they have everything on. If you care that much, like there are some details where I'd be like, okay, fine. If she lost them, such as like her tattoos, it's not the end of the world. But she has everything on, which is good. It may not load at all or nothing will show. At that point, just make sure that your application is updated fully, and if it still isn't showing things, then it's just not compatible with exporting it into the Sims 4 Ripper. At this step, you want to click DAE for saving as. So I'm just saving it in a place where I'll remember where it is. Don't just save it anywhere like in your downloads, because then you might lose it. I keep it as the name. It's not that big of a deal. I'll remember it because you can have the date and time you saved it, and it'll be the most recent thing that pops up. After it saves, you want to open up Blender, and the Blender you have to use is 2.8. I'm going to confirm that it might be 2.89. Nonetheless, the link to download it will be in the description. You can't, from what I know, you can't do it on any other Blender, and if you can, I don't know how to. So we're doing this using 2.89. Once you open up 2.8, you want to go to File, Import, DAE, and you want to find where you put the saved file from the Sims 4 Ripper. This is what it's going to look like. The controls to Blender is a whole different topic. I could explain it. If you have a mouse, use your scroll wheel pressing down to move around. And when it comes to moving up, you want to click Control and your 8 on your number pad, down would be 2 on the number pad, to the side 4, to the other side 6. The cube, you want to delete it. So you click it, you click delete. It's as simple as that. To make it easier, I'm going to make a second window. To do that, you're going to go to the top right of this window here. There'll be a plus sign. Yeah, there you go. After that little window shows up, you just want to go half and half. Here we have these little circles. For the right side, you want to click Viewport Shading. And they're going to look like this. It's kind of terrifying. I don't know what's wrong with her head. And on the left side, you're going to click Shader Editor, and you want to click this rig right here. This is the part that gets a little complicated, but once you have like a visual on it, it gets easier. When you see this color here, you want to click it and hold all the way up to specular. Then you want to click Shift A, which is how I got this here. I kind of messed up, so I had to redo it, but Shift A, Shader, and Mix Shader. And you're going to pop that right in the middle right here. You want to click Shift A, Shader, Transparent BSDF, which is this right here, how I got that. and you want to, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Nope, it does not go there. I just had to do that off screen because it kept messing up because I haven't done this in a while. But you want your BSDF right here to be on the bottom one, your transparent BSDF to be in the middle, and then you're going to drag the second one on the base color to FAC right here. They're going to look a little crazy, a little weird with like the black marks and pixels, but to fix that, you're going to go to the bottom, context material, and you want to click the blend mode to alpha hashed, and that'll fix all of the little pixels. Still look weird because I mean it's not fully rendered, but once you finish with everything, it should be good to go. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to do a Blender scene. I don't know how to make them, but people will put them on Patreon, sell them, you can import them. I'll do that a separate time maybe, but as of now, I'm just going to show you how to like, create a color background. So you're going to click Shift A again, and you're going to enter a plane. A plane is fine, you can do a cube too, but a plane works. On the left hand of the window, you're going to see these control buttons, and you just use those controls to position it. So since you want a background, you just want to move this up, move it like that. To size it into a bigger size, you want to click S and just make it bigger. And that's a background, a white one. If you want to change the color, you want to click the plus sign that I clicked right there, base color, and you can do any color. I think I'm just going to do like a red for her. You can make it metallic and play around with that. I don't really play around with it because I really had to. And that's how you make a background. Something else I like to do is delete these lamps and lights. So you want to just right click them and click delete. And now we're going to try and get a pose imported into Blender. Once you have Sims 4 Studio downloaded, it's going to ask you for a creator name, the directory of where your Sims game is located. Once you do all that, you'll see something like this. You probably won't see these things right here because I've imported like poses and things. So find a pose you like, a pose pack that you like. You can find them on Pinterest, on Tumblr, on Sims Resource, on anything really. But once you find that, you want to download it, remember where it is, and then you're going to click My Projects. Once you click My Projects, you click the pose pack. I'm not going to do that because I already have one, but once you click it and start that project, it's going to look like something like this. You want to click Clips. You want to click the pose you want, or poses. You can do multiple. And I'm going to do this one, number 3. I'm going to export it. I'm going to export it somewhere that I'm going to remember. So I'm just going to do that where I saved my poses right here. You'll see exporting animation. Make sure that it's for an adult female if the sim you're rendering is for an adult female. Likewise, if it's a male, a child, toddler, whatever, you'll see here, usually it's the default, but just make sure that didn't mess up in any way because it will look crazy if it's not for the correct rig in Blender. So now we're back here in Blender. You want to click rig, you want to click I. Okay, I was struggling because I was on edit mode, so make sure that you're not on edit mode when you're doing this step. But you want to click rig, you want to click I, and you want to click lock rot. Now that's all set, you're going to go to the second window here. You want to click the top left grid and nonlinear animation. This push down action button on rig action, you click that. This will be a darker orange. You right click that and you click delete strips. Now we're going to import the pose. You go to file, you go to append, you find where you save that pose, you click that file, you click action, and then you click the pose pack. Once that's appended, you click add right here, add action strip, and you click the pose. Now they're posing. However, this isn't what you're gonna get for your image if you don't prop up the camera properly. So to see where the camera is and what the camera is seeing, you want to click viewport shading, which is the third or fourth sphere, and it's gonna change the lighting, and you want to click 0. This is what the camera is seeing, and if you click render right now, this is what it's gonna render out, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna zoom out, and I'm gonna click camera here, and once I find it, I'm gonna use the little arrows to bring it closer, and then I'm gonna rotate it using the rotate option on the left. Once it's generally facing the sim, I'm gonna keep moving it until it's where I want it to be. Now that it's in the position that I want it in, generally, you can rotate it and change the size of it on over here, but I'm just going to keep it as is for the sake of keeping it simple. But it's dark and we don't want this to have awful lighting, so we're going to click Shift A and we're going to click light. You can click sun, point, whatever you want. Just move it and see where it looks best with, you know, the kind of vibe that you want with that picture. You can change the lighting color here. You can change how strong it is as well. The radius of it. I am going to add sun, which doesn't seem to be doing much when you move it around, but once you change the angle of it, you see it having a bigger effect for your Sims picture. This is quite moody as is, and I feel like that's fitting for the sim, so I'm gonna leave it like that, and we're ready to render. To render, you want to click the second option down that looks like a little camera, and render engine. Eevee is fine, it's just not as good of a quality as Cycles. It looks grainy in Blender, but once you render it out, you'll see that it looks crisp and clean, and probably what you're looking for when you're rendering out a sim in Blender. To render, you're just going to click the top left, render image, and it's going to take a while, but it'll get there and it'll tell you when it's complete, and I'll be back when this is complete so you can see the final result. Okay, so she's done rendering. I think she looks great. It's just what I wanted for the sim, for this picture that I had in mind. I'll probably do some post editing, adding some highlights here and there, but honestly, compared to the amount of editing I would be doing if I took an in-game screenshot, it's no problem. Sometimes you don't even need to edit, it just depends what you're looking for, and I hope this tutorial helped you guys. Bye!